All right, hello and welcome to the video. My name is Wade Smith, and this is a video about escaping the rear bear hug or rear belly to back suplex position that you often see in mixed martial arts, which evidently most of these people have not been taught any of the five techniques that I'm about to describe because you virtually never see any of these five things used in MMA. And I'm going to discuss five variations. Uh, well, really, it's more like four, but two variations of one equals five. All right, so the first one is if they grab you across your arms, in other words, they're above your arms and not underhooking you, then you're going to punch forward. They're behind you, grabbing around your body, and your arms are also inside the lock initially. You're going to Isshinryu punch from the waist forward to break out of the lock with rotating your hips and your shoulders. It's going to break their grip, and then you're immediately going to throw a reverse elbow into their liver. Let me fix this camera a little so you can see it. So here's the technique. Your hands are by your side. They somehow got your back either by surprise attack or by some manner of luck, like you slipped and fell in an MMA match, or else they surprise attacked you in the street. And they've got you wrapped up around your arms. All right. In this case, you are going to punch forward and torque your body and throw a straight punch out, which is going to break their grip. And then you are going to elbow strike back into their liver. All right. And if the first hit doesn't work, do it two or three or four more times until they let go. All right. Um, that's the first and probably most simple and basic technique. That's if they are overhooking you from the behind. If they're underhooking your arms, that's not going to work because their arm is actually going to make it impossible for you to hit their liver. But in that case, what you do is you instead elbow strike back that way, which is a 3 to 9 elbow, and you're going to hit across their chin or their temples. Even if they duck their head down into your back, they're going to get hit by some of the force, believe me. They might not get hit by all of it as if they were just sitting up there doing nothing. But if they try to duck their head down, what's going to happen is then they're not doing anything, at least at that point. All right. So that's a 3 to 9 or 9 to 3 elbow to the temple or the chin. Okay. If they are underhooking you. And you can do it with both arms. So if they duck their head one way, you will catch them with the other side. All right. Not going to guarantee 100% effectiveness, but it's better than not knowing anything, which these people apparently don't know anything because for some reason they get black belts without being taught any of this stuff. I was taught all of these counters to that move. Oh, you can grab their hand in their front. Since they're sticking their hands in the front, you can see their hands and they can't even see yours really. You can grab their hand and place them in a full wrist lock or reverse wrist lock in a reverse position from there potentially, especially if you're as strong or stronger than them. If you're significantly weaker than them, that might not work as well. Another option is to bend down and grab their foot between your legs and pull up and put them in a side ankle lock with their knee in the fulcrum of your groin against your pelvis. And you're going to sit down on their knee as you pull up on a side ankle lock. And it's either going to break their ankle or dislocate their ankle or dislocate them at the knee or the hip, or they're going to tap out. One of those four things is going to happen. Okay. And then the last one is a judo throw. You're actually going to grab them over the shoulder and throw them like so over the shoulder, in which case they will be seated on the ground in front of you with their back facing you, and you can hammer fist strike them in the temples or whatever you want to do from there. And if it's a street fight, you can kick them in the back of the head and then run away or whatever you need to do. All right, so that's 5 ways to defeat a rear bear hug or rear belly to back suplex position that you often see in MMA, mixed martial arts. And I am not joking or lying. I must have seen, however many hundred mixed martial arts matches I've watched in my adult life. And I don't think I've ever once seen any of those 5 techniques used in MMA to break out of the hold because either they just don't think to do it that way or they're not taught to do it that way or whatever the case. It's kind of pathetic. that even former champions like Sean Strickland don't know how to do that. It's like, how do you not know this? And you're supposedly a black belt. This is one of the first escapes that's taught to yellow belts and orange belts in Isshinryu Karate. Is a rear grab or a rear bear hug. How to get out of it. It's one of the easiest things in the world to defeat. All right. What is the other one? Same basic principle applies to a front bear hug. You can do things like headbutt the person in the side of the head or across the nose, and it's like even if you can't move your arms, or you can knee strike them in the groin or whatever. In MMA, you can't knee strike to the groin, but in a street fight, you certainly can. All right, I guess this is 6 minutes long. That's enough for a decent video. Let me talk about something else. I'm starting to realize that black belt ranks above maybe 4th or 5th degree black belt should basically be either ignored or done away with, because I find that these so-called masters and grand masters from 7th to 10th degree black belt, they don't seem to be teaching anything that isn't already taught by 3rd, 4th, and 5th degree black belts, first of all, at least nothing real. And then they get off topic and start talking about nonsense, such as tensing your butt muscles or your anus, or claims about sword fighting that they clearly do not know what they're talking about, that they're supposed to be an expert at it, and they don't even know what the heck they're talking about based on real modern sword science. Basically, in my opinion, if someone is more than about a 4th or 5th degree black belt, you should consider them a fraud, because that's my new opinion on this topic. Because I've frankly never seen a 7th to 10th degree black belt that actually knew what the hell they were talking about. They always seem to be talking in nonsense and fairy tales.